Many startup founders reach for personas to define their ideal customer profile, but personas are overkill at the early stages of a product and can be outright harmful. In this video, I'm going to share why that is and what to do instead. Hi there, if you're new to this channel, my name is Ash Moria. I'm an entrepreneur and author and the creator of the one-page business modeling tool, Lean Canvas. On this channel, I share systematic strategies and techniques for starting and growing a business. So what's wrong with starting with personas? I'll share 3 reasons with you. First, most startup founders define their ideal customer profile, or ICP, by listing demographic or psychographical attributes that they've either observed across their customers or think best describe their ideal customers. But not all attributes are created equal. While it's easy and fun to brainstorm attributes like age, gender, or the household income of your ideal customer, good customer segmentation is about chasing causality, not correlation. Just because most of your customers are male and in their 20s doesn't automatically make 20-year-old males your ideal customers. In other words, if a particular attribute does not cause someone to become your customer, it doesn't belong in your ICP definition. Getting to causality, though, requires a lot more data than a handful of customers, which is why personas make a lot more sense for companies at scale than startups. Another consequence of adding more attributes to your ICP is that it makes finding and targeting these prospects a lot harder and more expensive. More importantly, adding more attributes to your ICP shrinks your total addressable market, which is the opposite of what you want to do. You want to grow your total addressable market, not shrink it. But the real danger of narrowing down on your ICP is that you might actually find some customers in this segment and think that you have validated your ICP. This, however, may be a false positive. You might end up focusing on climbing a small hill and totally miss the neighboring mountain of opportunity because you weren't looking for it. And by the time you notice this mountain, it might be too late because someone else has already scaled it. To make this more concrete, let's assume I define a startup founder using the old stereotype of 2 20-something guys in a garage in Silicon Valley. If I go looking there, I will find these entrepreneurs who meet the criteria, and if I don't bother looking any further, I'll miss the much larger mountain, which is a much bigger market of 100 million plus entrepreneurs all over the world that transcend age, gender, and geography. The art of good customer segmentation isn't chasing after the most distinguishing characteristics, but the fewest distinguishing characteristics that cause someone to buy from you. So how do you do this? There's nothing wrong with brainstorming your ideal customer profile, provided you treat these as assumptions or guesses that still need to be validated with evidence or data. When I build my ideal customer profile, I clear the slate and start with just one distinguishing characteristic I know that all my customers will have. Can you guess what that is? Let me share a little marketing puzzle that might help you figure this out. If you are a marketer at a mattress company looking to sell more mattresses, when is the best time of day to run an ad? Now, I've posed this question to thousands of people, and the 2 responses I commonly get are in the morning when people wake up and at night right before they're going to bed. While these are good answers, neither of these are the optimal time. The problem with the morning is that yes, while people may have had a sleepless night from a bad mattress, they have too many other competing jobs to do in the morning, such as getting ready for work or getting their kids ready for school. They don't have time to buy a mattress. The evening may not be any better because it's human nature to procrastinate. They're probably tired from the day's work and may just want to relax versus research and buy a mattress, which is more work. So with that, when would be a good time then to sell a mattress to someone? How about at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night when they can't sleep? This is an actual case study from a well-known mattress company that discovered several people buying their mattresses in the middle of the night. At first, they were confused, so they called some of these customers up, and then it made perfect sense. Here is what they found. These people couldn't sleep, so they pulled out their phones and started browsing the web, or turned on the TV and started browsing channels. Then they accidentally stumbled into a mattress ad and ended up buying a mattress just 30 minutes later. This may seem like an impulsive purchase, but it's not, because all these customers encountered a switching trigger that caused them to want to buy a new mattress. A switching trigger is an event, like not being able to sleep at 2 a.m., that changes something in the prospect's mind. causing their existing solution, their current mattress in this case, to break and prompting them to look for a new solution. A switching trigger event is one attribute that all customers share. Think back to any recently purchased product such as a new phone or laptop and you'll find a prior switching trigger event. Switching triggers help you determine when to show up with an offer, and as this story illustrates, when can be a lot more powerful than who when creating your ICP. What do you think the mattress company did with this insight? They started running infomercials and ads between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. and sold a lot of mattresses while their competitors were sleeping. Then they went looking for other switching triggers. So what are some other types of switching triggers? I've identified 3 types of switching triggers: bad experiences with an existing solution, a change in circumstance, and awareness events. In the mattress example above, not being able to sleep is an example of a bad experience switching trigger. Can you think of other switching triggers that could cause someone to consider buying a mattress? How about when someone goes from being single to in a relationship? They may need to get a bigger bed. This would be an example of a change in circumstance triggering event. Or how about when someone injures their back and are at the doctor's office, their doctor might advise them to buy a therapeutic mattress, and this would be an example of an awareness switching trigger. Notice that none of these criteria have any demographical attributes yet they are pretty actionable. I'm not saying that demographics have no place in your ICP. They can be important and should be added in if they are instrumental in the buying decision. And hopefully you're convinced by now that going overboard on demographics, especially without evidence, can be pretty costly and potentially can do more harm than good. Good insights are like magic tricks. They are hard to see initially, but simple and obvious in hindsight. You can't simply guess at insights. They have to be learned or earned. And the best way I found to do this is through carefully scripted customer interviews like the mattress company did. If you have customers, start by interviewing them to determine what switching triggers cause them to buy from you. This will be way more actionable than the industry or type of customer they are. If you don't yet have customers, the next best place to start is interviewing customers of your closest competitors or alternatives to determine these switching triggers. After switching triggers, I aim to determine why they bought or their desired outcome. As you saw in the mattress scenarios that I shared earlier, the switching trigger shapes or determines the kind of mattress someone buys. And finally, I aim to learn what product they picked for the job. These 3 attributes, the switching trigger, desired outcome, and chosen solution, are the basic foundation of a good ICP. If you're familiar with the jobs to be done theory, you'll recognize these as jobs-based customer segments. Now, the good news is that you don't need to run hundreds of interviews to define a good jobs-based segment. Once you learn how to conduct good customer interviews, patterns emerge quickly after just 10 to 20 conversations. If you're interested in learning how to run these types of interviews, I dedicate an entire chapter to this in my book, Running Lean, which I'll link in the description below. We've also built an AI copilot called Customer Forces that teaches you how to run these interviews, and it's been trained with this model to help you automatically extract insights from your conversations. I'll link that here too in the description below in case you're interested in checking it out. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.